Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Brogehammer Auto House channel. We're in for another tuning setup today with the Samurai 2, as requested by Raj Paul on my last YouTube video here. This is the setup I have. I do have the missile wide body kit on it, so that'll give it a little bit more stance and a little bit of width added to the car, which does affect the way that they drift and tune and everything. But anyways, I've got this one tuned up to the Pro Drift 3. We'll jump into my custom settings here. And as you can see, my spring size and stiffness there. Typically I do try to ride a little bit lower on the spring size, but in this particular case, the tires didn't fit within those wheel arches. So went up a little higher than normal. As with most of my vehicles, the front sway bar is all the way maxed out. Do a little bit of toe in the front. My camber is at negative 4.1. Caster maxed out. Ackerman's a little higher on this one at 65%. I think with the longer wheelbase, it tends to be better if you have a higher Ackerman percentage, but I did try to go up to about 70%, and it makes it difficult when you're in a full lock drift to switch directions and go from a right-hand turn to a left-hand turn. So the lower you bring that Ackerman angle, the faster that snap will kind of happen because your front tires will grab much better if it's lower. But it also affects how well it can kind of float out into drift into outside zones. So 65s worked well for me. As you can see, my tightening and retraction settings there, they're all pretty even keel. On the rear, I don't have the retraction and quick retraction very high. It's pretty low actually, and then the tightening is a little bit higher. I run -1 camber in the rear and 10 degrees of toe. Almost no sway bar in the rear, so I can get a little more grip. And then you can see my spring size and stiffness there as well. I'm running 20-inch wheels on this thing. I believe it's a square setup as well. 265s in the front and rear at 200 pressure with 40% profile. Those are both 20s. Engine pretty much maxed out to the top. There's not really much else you can do. The little fall off in the graph there is okay, I think, for this setup. I've got my diff at 0.69. Gear ratios are at 4 3/4. Gonna run down here. I did have to do quite a bit of playing around with the 4th and 5th gear. When you upgrade it to this setting and you have the sport tires on it, and you try to go to 5th gear, the car just kind of bogs out and it can't really get into drift in 5th. So you have to up that number. I have it at 1.07 and 4th gear at 124. Now 4th gear in this car is riding limiter almost the entire time when I'm going around a track, and you'll see that here in just a few minutes. But if you want to adjust that, you can lower the number on 4th gear from 1.24 to maybe 1.20 or 1.18, and that'll give you more gear, so you won't be on as much limiter in 4th gear. Also, the opposite is true. If you go higher in that number, you'll hit limiter even faster. So if you didn't know how the gearing numbers worked exactly, that should help you a little bit. Sorry, I didn't show the shifting delay. I actually usually do minimize that. I must have forgotten to do it earlier, so drop that down. Braking is there, and the axis widths, you could probably just keep at 0. I think I tried to adjust them, but those sliders are a little tough sometimes. 1,500 kilograms, one of the heavier vehicles in the game, at least at this tier. So anyways, we'll jump into some testing. I'm going to go out and try to test at Cami Road, however you say it, because it gives me a little bit of a change up in driving. So we're going to run over to that, see how that goes. But before we do, I had a request from Football Life to show my graphics settings, and those are here. I have the adaptive quality actually on, which maybe if you have it off, it would cause some issues. I'm not sure. I have motion blur off, so if you have the blur on, it could potentially mess with you. I don't know. It's kind of goofy how they have all this stuff set up, but I set my smoke intensity to high because I just like the look of it more, and turn the opacity back a little bit. I haven't messed with the frames per second or anything during the ride, but that's where I've got everything. If you go to a high car texture quality, maybe that's causing issues for you. I'm not really sure, but that's my settings. Give it a try and see what you think. We are going to jump into some driving here, and we'll see what you guys think of the tune. Alright, so now we're here at Cami Road. Just gonna try to show you guys kind of some more like wall ride type stuff, hitting inner clips. Just trying to work my way around the track here, hoping the audio comes through okay over the sound of the vehicle. You'll notice in fourth gear almost all the time on this track I'm pretty much riding the limiter. There's a couple spots where I overshot some turns in this one, but I do like how this thing drives in comparison to a couple other vehicles, because it tends to swing more, and it's kind of fun to throw that back end out. There you see I did a little bit of a backwards entry into that tight corner there. If you're struggling with those, you can either go down a gear right after you flick it, or pretty much stay in throttle and just turn into the corner super hard, but then there is a certain point where obviously you're going to spin out, so keep an eye on that. See, I overshot that corner there coming in, but check out the rest of this. Continue to follow my channel. If you have any other tunes that you want to see, please submit them in the comments below, and I'll try to get them done as quickly as I can. I have the availability for quite a bit of that, so let me know what you think, and we will see you next time.